in and share screen. Okay. Now let's talk about your first of potentially 4 projects. All right. Utilizing a basic sniffer, import it into another Python program called last initial first initial sniffer 0.py. You understand that part already?
No, it's just the last initial first initial.
Yeah. DK for Dewey Ken, you know. Yours, you got to give me the right name. So it'd be GD. Just saying. But so many people have a hard time with that. So you replace where it says last initial, first initial with your last initial and your first initial.
And first?
Just like it says there. It says both sniffer PY and sniffer 0.py have been provided, which are up there. Edit the sniffer 0.py to perform this project. So sniffer, don't edit it. You can later, but you don't need to yet. Sniffer 0 is the one you're going to edit to do this project. You're going to rename it and edit it. Okay? Here's what you need to do. Modify it so that it runs for 15 seconds. During that 15 seconds, create a list of all the IP addresses that interacted with your machine. Just the IP addresses. I'll show you this in a minute. Dedupe that list. You know what that means? Deduplicate. In other words, if one IP address showed up twice, I only want to see it once.
Okay.
Okay? Output this list to a text file called last initial, first initial IP. So basically what you're doing is you're creating a very super basic Wireshark program that anytime it sees traffic, it's going to list the IP address. Easy enough? Super basic. To do this, you must run idle, which I'll show you. You must run it as an administrator to get this to work, because what we're doing is we're changing your network card into promiscuous mode. You should know what that is, but normally your network card only processes traffic that's destined for itself. Promiscuous mode listens to everything. And basically just gets it all. Okay? So run it as administrator. You can do it on your own PC. You can do it in the cyber labs, 131, 201, 211, 214. But you do not have permissions to do it other places. So if you tried in like 206, it's not going to work. It's going to say, you don't have permissions. Because we verified that fact. It won't. Okay? Then you're going to do some extra parts onto this project later on. Now, I'm going to show you how this works. Okay? Here's the 2 files, sniffer and sniffer 0. Let's look at sniffer first. Okay? Now, if I try to run idle, then I'm going to open up the other file, and I'll explain what all these do in a second. If I try to open the other file, and if I try to run this, watch what happens. Error. Attempt was made to access the socket in a way forbidden by your access permission, by its access permissions. In other words, I cannot run this. So when, not if, when you get this error, here's how to fix it. What you're going to do is you're going to run idle. So I found idle. I'm going to right-hand click on it and say run as administrator. Then from inside of idle, I'm going to go open up those 2 files on my desktop. They are here. Let's see, that one and that one. I can't do both at once. Okay, there's sniffer. File, open, desktop, sniffer 0. Now when I run this, anyone know what that problem is? Your requested address is not valid in this context. Well, I will show you what the problem is. I need to figure out what my IP address is. How do I do that? Anybody? IP config. My IP address is 10.55.10.87. Okay? So I'm going to go over here to the other. Get off the screen. Where's the other one? Darn it, where is?
It's right behind it.
There it is. You need to go in here and change this. Probably should have added that as an argument to pass to it, but change it. It's in sniffer.py. You're going to have to edit this one line. 10.55.10.1. See that line right there where it says host? Okay. Just change this line right here to be your IP address. Just your IP. Oh, good point. Not bad. Thank you for catching that. 87. Because what it was trying to do was it was trying to open up the interface on my Office machine. It's like, that's not even here. So now I'm going to save that, make sure it runs. Okay, that runs fine now. So I'm going to run this. And if you don't remember how, I'm just hitting F5, which is run. What this is doing is it's actually capturing every bit of data coming through the network card. Okay. Now, if I do Control C a couple times, what you're reading is, okay, this is one packet right there. You have the hex data, and then you have the IP address. So like, this is another packet right there. This is another packet right there. They always start with this B stuff here, like that, and they always end with an IP address. Okay. See that? So I did that already. Okay. Now let's look at the files. Okay. Is there a way to make this bigger? How can I change the font? Anybody? Does anyone know?
Format.
Tabs, font, blah, blah, format paragraph. Where's font? There's no font. Wait, maybe here. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Let's go down to, do we have like Lucidia? Yeah, oh, let's try that. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got it. So, by the way, I did not create this. This is somewhere. You can find it yourself if you want. I want to tell you, you have all the answers. But this works. We import socket, we import OS, and I'm importing time. Then I just created a function basically called sniffer, which listens on this port. I mean, look at these. You know, those of you who had programming, this is a prime example of why you need documentation, why you need comments. Because without these comments, would you have a clue what this program is? So I went through and I added comments that kind of explain what each line pretty much does. Not totally, but yeah. Like this line up here, I said, hey, you know, what can we get? Oh, you can take IP, ICMP, or UDP. Cannot take TCP. Okay. So I put some comments in here, and this will return a single packet of this size. Okay. If you're running Windows, this turns off. So this basically turns off receive all. This turns on receive all. That's how you get it in promiscuous mode or not. Okay. Okay, so it says if you're using Windows, we need to send an I/O control to set a promiscuous mode, and that's exactly what this is. Okay, so I give you all that. Later on, we will be modifying this, but for project one, this is perfect. Okay, so that's that file. Now let's look at this file. This is the one you're going to edit. Okay, this one imports the other file. So import sniffer goes and takes the contents of the other file and brings the functionality in. So now we can use it. While true basically says just go forever. You can make it go for maybe 15 seconds if you like. I mean, I'm just giving you an idea. It might help. Okay. Then what we're going to do is a packet is sniffer to sniffer. In other words, sniffer is the file we imported. This sniffer is the name of the function at the very top. I had DEF sniffer. So sniffer was the sniffer class, sniffer function. Print out a single packet. So this prints it to the screen. It prints it out from raw hex data and an IP address. This is what's called the tuple. Some of you should have learned about a tuple. If you haven't, I will. A tuple is a data structure. Okay? Kind of like an array or a list, but the nice thing about a tuple is it can actually contain different types. Like an array, they all need the same type. Same in a list, they need to be the same type. With a tuple, I can add a string, a number, or something else. I can add, it's kind of like a list of lists, where each item can be of any type. It's called the tuple. You can look it up if you like. So I showed you what the output was. Let me show you one more time. Okay, that's the output. Okay, kill it. Now, I left the other two lines on here just so you can see So if we run this one, now we're getting just the hex data. Just, you know. In other words, all the IP data is gone. Okay. And there's some of it's still there, but it's not what I'm referring to. Now this, if you'll notice here, packet has nothing. Packet 0 means return the first element of the tuple. Packet 1 means return the second element, because it always starts at 0, so 0, then 1. So let's see what this one does. This might be more to your liking. Oh, come on. You got to admit, that's pretty darn helpful, me putting that in there. Still not what I want. I want a text file of just the IPs, non-duplicates, for 15 seconds. So obviously, what this is doing is it's returning a tuple of 2 items. So you're going to have to get just the first item out of it, because you'll see it's an IP and actually a port. But since we're promiscuous, it's giving us a 0. Okay. So you're going to have to get that into a list of some sort. Then you're going to have to deduplicate it.
And this is 2 week 4.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm saying in an hour you can have it done. There's even a function built into Python to remove duplicates. I mean, it's not hard. Yeah.
Which Python version should we download?
3 dot something. 3.6, 3.5.6, yeah, 3.6.4, it's fine. Anyway, it'll run. So, and if you want to know for sure that it's running in promiscuous mode, look at those IP addresses. I'm 87 at the last octet. A lot of those are different addresses. So it is listing on all the ports. Okay? So understand what you got to do? It's not hard. We no longer have a tutor, but Cameron's gone. Jairus has replaced him. So Jairus now works for me 20 hours a week. And he's allowed to tutor during that time. So we still have a tutor, in other words. Okay? He works 3 days a week. They're on my door. He is willing to modify those as needed. He has permission to change them up anytime, any way he needs to work with students. Okay? That doesn't mean have them do it all for you. I would be thrilled to death if you figure this out on your own. I mean, I gave you a lot. Okay?
And the challenge is on.
Yeah. Let me tell you where this came from, first of all. When I went to the University of Tulsa, I had to write a sniffer. Imagine that. He gave me a DLL that read in traffic. And once I received the traffic, I had to analyze it and look for different things. With his, I had to capture specific traffic on a specific network. And I was looking for different viruses and different stuff. In other words, I had to analyze the traffic. Oh, I'm looking for this, and I'm looking for this. And you're not doing exactly that, but you're going to get somewhat close. Okay? So I've already done this. Well, obviously I've done this. But, but I've already gone a couple steps beyond. So I know where I want you guys to go, but I want you to work to get there. You know what I mean? I figure if you just do it all at once, you know, this way. So do this, and you're going to build upon it for your second one, and your third one, and your fourth one. If you skip one, I have not determined how I'm going to handle that yet. If you skip one, it's going to be hard to do 2 without 1. You agree? Especially if they build on each other.
I'm looking at to make it a base.
So I really not want to supply, okay, here's the final number 1, because then that's going to get passed out to everybody. And then, you know, it's, I know how you all work. So, is this doable?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Give us 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, 4 weeks. I mean, all you got to do is extract the first element of a list, sort it.
I've been tricked many, many times, though, so I'm not going to say yes. Yeah.
All right.
The sort of should be fine.
All right. But I just thought this is a new way of bringing in your knowledge of scripting. By the way, cryptography will require scripting starting in the fall. I can't change everything at one time. I'm sorry. So if you haven't taken crypto yet, I mean, it only helps you.
I did enjoy crypto. It was a little difficult, but I did.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to try to make it where you have to do more stuff like this because you learn it.
You get 60 weeks now. I mean, that's
Well, this time.
well, this time,
Yeah,
you get 60 weeks in the fall.
I don't know. I've already submitted the schedule. I don't remember what's on it.
Give 60 weeks.
All right. So we need to look at one thing here real quick. Where is, so I had the wrong date on here, didn't I? Oh, I didn't even put on here at all. Oh, that could, oh, it's on there. It's on there. Hold on.
For the stocking side, I think you have to do Monday, right?
Yeah, it should be due, no, is it Monday?
You haven't changed.
I'll look in 1 second.
I don't know.
Okay, what is week 4?
It was the third.
If only someone has a schedule.
It was the third.
So the week of the 12th, week of February 12th, so it'll be due on the 14th, correct? The 14th. So this is now going to be due on,
Valentine's Day. Thanks.
hey, no problem. That's what I'm here for. On the 14th, okay, there's 7:30. Okay, you can now do that, and it's visible to you. And what did you say was wrong? The quiz?
I don't know if it's wrong.
Let me stop this recording real quick. We've already talked about the project.